There was a point in time where I was this close to putting a close sign on my barbershop and just walking away for good. And it wasn't because I didn't love barbering or the barbering business, but it was actually because I didn't know what it really meant to own a barbershop. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you guys the real reason why I almost shut down, to doing a full fucking 360 to not preparing to open up shop number 2 after this one was scaled from 0 to over 30K a month. Yo, what's up YouTube, man? It's your boy Zacchaeus Henry, and if you're a barbershop owner or you plan on opening a barbershop one day, this video is for you because I'm about to uncover the real truths about owning a barbershop in 2026 and about the hundreds of thousands of dollars of mistakes that I've made, which almost costed me to close this mug down and just fully step away into just entrepreneurship as a whole and stop cutting hair and stop owning a barbershop. So if you're a shop owner, I want you to stay tuned to the end of this video so you can make sure that your shop is actually not just running, but actually growing and scaling month after month. Let's go. Everyone thinks that just owning a barbershop is just so easy, or it's like any other business. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a barber now, I cut hair, I work in a barbershop, I can easily go open up a barbershop. I thought the same thing, but that entirely was not the case, because what happened was I was not properly prepared owning a barbershop. I mean, just being flat out honest, I was not prepared. I had the plan. I was still cutting hair in my mom's house, you know, making only $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, but I knew that I wanted to open up a barbershop. So the first step is just casting out the vision, because a lot of people, yeah, they say they want to own a barbershop, but until you actually start doing the things in order for you to own that barbershop, right? You becoming that person. So what I did was I had casted out the vision, and I knew that I wanted to open up 100 Exclusive Fadez barbershops. By me locking in and knowing my vision and what I wanted, you know, people who do want to open up a shop, they feel as if that this is easy. And I'm just gonna be upfront. It's not easy whatsoever. And by that being the factor of it not being easy, nothing is ever easy. So I'm gonna just be upfront. Owning a barbershop is not what everybody makes it seem like, because it's not easy. When I first opened up a barbershop, I was not prepared whatsoever. That's one of the first mistakes, is just being properly prepared. And I like to tell people all the time, if you are a barber or you are a shop owner right now, what you have to do is you have to really just sit down and you have to think about the vision. Like, what is it that you actually want? Because once you have that, then you will be able to actually set up a game plan in order for you to get there. For an example, like let's just say in New York, fly a plane to LA, but right before you took off, they adjusted the plane just 80 degrees slightly or 3 inches to the left. And by them doing that, it took them from New York to Mexico, right? Instead of their intended destination, which was, yeah, LA. So that shows you right then and there, you can have the plan, you can have the vision, but you have to have the proper preparation in order for you to get there in the beginning, when starting out. And that is something that I did not do. When I was on that plane and I was just going from New York to Atlanta. I was on that plane, I was going to New York to Florida, right? But I knew I was moving, I knew I was progressing, right? I knew I was having motion, but I wasn't progressing. So for you guys, you must be properly prepared. And what that stems into is being properly prepared is that first thing. I didn't open up a barbershop, as I would say, I wouldn't say with the right person, but just being careful with who you open up a barbershop with. Business partners. I opened up this first barbershop location with a business partner, and it did not go the way that I expected it to go. In the beginning, our visions, our goals, everything aligned properly, but when the heat came on, when the money started rolling in, it started going like this. For you guys right now, if you plan on opening up a barbershop here real soon, and you do want to have, you know, a business partner or whatnot like that, then you must be real subtle about who your business partner is and be careful and make sure things are properly in place and in line. Because that one mistake right there costed me over $50,000. Just with choosing the wrong business partner. And that's just in the beginning, not being properly prepared. And now, once I did form that alliance with that business partner and we did find a location ourselves, we signed a lease and everything like that together. The second thing is, whenever you are signing, before you ever even sign the lease, you must have a commercial real estate agent, I would highly suggest, or some type of agent or professional or lawyer, look over the lease, look over the terms and agreement. Because this costed me $3,000 6 months after opening. My AC went out. And per the lease terms and agreement, it was not on there and I was fully responsible. But now that I'm in the position to open up the second shop, we're having things in place now to where if something do happen with the AC, the landlord is responsible. So before opening this first shop, I did not have a commercial real estate agent. I did everything by myself. I'm 18 years old, fresh 2 weeks out of high school, found the location and just signed the lease straight out the back. I'm gonna be real, I barely even read the shit. I didn't even read it. I didn't have any type of guidance. I didn't have anybody in my family that even knew that I even opened up the barbershop in the first place. What caused that was me not being properly prepared with the right individuals in place. commercial real estate agent, business partner, and just knowing the vision. And just all in all, that's even before you even step foot inside the building. So that goes under that lines of knowing exactly where you want to go and then having people align. So if you guys do need help though, when it comes to like finding a commercial real estate agent, where I found my commercial real estate agent, she's doing really good with this second barbershop location. But on Instagram, search up commercial real estate agent on your feed, and then hundreds of people, you can actually feed through Instagram or Google and hit them up and just, look at their referrals, of course, and their reviews and see who they worked with and what they were able to do, and then lock in with a commercial real estate agent. Do not do that shit by yourself unless you already have experience with that. A third thing, having the right contractor. Whenever I first opened up the barbershop, I had a piece of paper and on that piece of paper was literally just the build out, nothing else. No architect involved, no game plan about what I want the barbershop to look like, nothing, just kind of just going with the flow and really nibble. And with going with the flow, just not being, and I say it again, but not being properly prepared, that shit costed me. One of the biggest things was that contractor. I opened up the barbershop and I did majority of the contracting myself, me and my business partner at the time. We actually came in, we knocked down the hammer, we had the hammers, we had all the tools, and we knocked everything out. We did a full-on build out. This space right here, it used to be suites. It used to have rooms involved. And what we did was we knocked down all the walls, which demolition, and it took only about a week, but it was after the demo. Okay, what comes next? Okay, buying the tools, buying the materials, getting the tools, the materials, having the time to actually do so. When I came in and signed the lease, I had to pay the security deposit, which was about $2,500, and then I had to pay the first month rent, which was about another $2,000. So it was about $4,500 before ever even stepping foot into this barbershop building. Mind you guys, I was fresh 18, 2 weeks out of high school. I had $10,000 liquid cash only. So before starting, you must make sure that you have the capital in place, because if you don't have the capital, then you'll have to do what I did, which was doing all the build out, knocking down all the walls, and just investing time rather than you investing that money. You can invest money, but when you invest that time, you'll never get it back. With contractors, I end up signing up and having a contractor come in. Man, I did not have the right contractor. This costed me 12 full months of build out. I started out, I paid that first month security deposit, that first month rent and security deposit, and then I came in, we had 3 months of free rent. It took us 2 months to even, after demo, and even start building up the walls, right? Just the wood, putting the walls together and put them up. And then after that, we were doing everything just by ourselves. And what this costed was that 3 months went up like this. It went up so fast because after you sign that lease, time just start moving. The longer that you wait, the longer it's gonna take you to, start making money and start making profit. So it took me 12 months after signing the lease to even open up the building and start even making a single dollar within this building. So if we wanna do 12 times 2,000, it costed me just $25,000 in just that year of just rent alone, not including the actual build out cost, not including the wood, not including the tools, not including the day-to-day life, right? If you even trying to open up the shop. So you being properly prepared in the beginning is so important, and I'm gonna just hit on it because just right then and there, that's over $100,000 in mistakes that I made before I even stepped foot in the shop that I could have prevented. So that's something that if you haven't already opened up your barbershop, if you just properly prepared, you need to make sure that you have the vision aligned. You need to make sure that you have a commercial real estate. You need to make sure if you are doing business partners or you're getting the loan or you're doing these certain things that everything just aligns back to that vision. Another thing is that contract and architect. Before even stepping foot in the building, you must get the floor plans and the layouts, and you share with the architect. You allow them to assess the situation and tell you how much the total build out cost would be before you ever even open. So you know exactly how much money you're gonna be investing into that shop. Hey, you're consuming this video because you A, either don't have enough barbers or hairstylists working at your shop, or B, you don't have enough clients coming through the door. And the main problem is your online visibility. So what I actually did is this upcoming Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, I'm going to be doing a barbershop owner workshop class where it's going to show you how to gain new clients and attract the right type of barbers and or stylists within your barbershop or salon. So if you want to attend that, go ahead, hit the link in the description now, and then I'll see you guys at the end of this video. By me only having $10,000 liquid, that shit was gone within the first month. And I was literally cutting hair. Every single head I was cutting the head for $35. And I was like, oh yeah, this finna pay for a piece of wood. Oh yeah, this about to pay for a sheetrock. Like, and that is not a good position to be in, where you're making $2,000 a month, but your bills is $4,000. I was going into the red month after month because I was not properly prepared. So now I'm in the building. I got inside the building June the 20th of 2024. I got into the barbershop building, I signed the lease. And then, like I said, it took us 12 long months to even get the barbershop building open, to even have barbers come in and work for us. And with us even taking 12 months to even get the shop ready for even a barber to even step foot in the door to even allow us to come work, again, that was $25K right then and there. Now, the third thing was, well, when we opened up the shop, it was May 4th, 2025. So it was actually 11 months. It was 11 full months of just doing the full-on build out, and we were still building it out. People were actually cutting hair inside. What I'm gonna do is I'll actually play a video, the inside of the shop, how it looked when we opened up. Yes, it was looking crazy as hell. Man, so we opened up with no floor at all. And we did everything thus far all by ourselves. We did the sheetrock, we did the walls, we painted, we did the tile, we did everything by ourselves thus far. But we wanted to do the floor. So I've seen so many ideas, and I know you guys see even like modern day's age right now, the modern day floor is epoxy. Man, if you know anything about epoxy, it can get anywhere from $5 to $10 or even $15 a square foot. Now, this building is only 950 square feet, but I only needed 600 square feet actually epoxy. So it ended up being about $6,000 for the full-on just floor for epoxy. What I did was I actually seen another barbershop owner that's down the street. He had it, and I texted him and I asked him, hey bro, who did your epoxy flooring? Trying to, you know, get a referral and get something that like somebody's already, it's proven, it works, they're good people, they do good work. Shit, man, that shit did not end up good. So what happened was I ended up allowing him to come in. I ended up paying him $3K up front to get started. He ended up doing it, and he tried to do it in less than 24 hours. If you guys know anything about epoxy takes anywhere from 48 to at least 72 hours to even dry and even sand out and level the floor and everything. But he tried to do it fast, and he did not do it right. But I didn't know that until I paid him that full on $6,000. The floor started peeling a month later after installing. It started having bubbles, and then it started peeling. And then, you know, when people walk and people started tripping on the actual floor, and it just was a big mistake. And they ran off with my money. They did not come back. I called him, and he blocked me. He ran off with my money, and he did not want to pay me my $6,000 back and or even come into the barbershop and even fix it. So what that made me do was I had to get another contractor to do it. If y'all know anything about me, man, I love them Celsius, man. Let's take an energy break. I had to find another contractor, but I knew that I did not want to do epoxy flooring. So the actual type of flooring I did was vinyl. It was very cheap, but it got the job done. And they quoted me out at $4,000. And I went ahead and paid them as well, all up front. And they leveled out the floor. They did what the first person was supposed to do. And they did everything the right way. So even though that the epoxy flooring contractor costed more, they still did not do the better job. The cheaper option was actually the best option. That's $10,000 right then and there alone, just on the floor. That's another big mistake I made, was just not having the right contractor. I've heard stories of where contractors, they delayed processes for a year, 2 years, or even they got paid all their money up front and they ghosted people. If you even hear my story, you know, when I felt as if that he was a good person, a good look, because a friend of mine or a shop owner down the street recommended him, and he was not. But that's fine, I took that hit. It was a 10K hit for the floor. Now, that's what contractors. Finding a contractor can go under lines of preparation as well before you ever even open a shop. After the architect and after you get the contractor, they'll tell you exactly what's possible and then how much it'll be. And then now you'll have a full-on just game plan of what to expect, at least financially and timeline-wise, so you can open up the shop at a reasonable time. It took me 12 months to open up my shop and make my first ever dollar within a barbershop. That's a pretty big hit. And talking about dealing with bad people, that leads us to the fourth thing. It's just making sure that we're hiring people not based on their skill set, but we're hiring people based on their character. When I first opened up the barbershop, yes, I had 10 barbers. I had 10 barbers, but when the first time I ever opened the doors within a barbershop, I was able to market myself online and get these people to actually come through and actually come work for me. Now, the thing is a lot of these people were good at cutting hair, but they were not good people. And what I mean by good people is that they didn't understand the standards. They wasn't upholding the expectations, the standard of the shops. And I read something in his book, James Clear, he said it best. He said, you cannot standardize something can I optimize something that is not standardized? If it doesn't even exist in the first place, how can you ever even optimize it? So right now, if you have barbers that work inside of your barbershop and they're not good people, for one, you must set up the standards, right, within your shop. You must set up the expectations within your shop. You must set up the rules and the vision, right? So everybody can align properly, because that is something I didn't have when I first opened up my shop, and it allowed barbers to just come in and run over me and run over the business and not treat the business with the utmost respect, and it cost me a shit ton of money. One barber, he was coming in continuously just smelling like weed, and I wasn't saying nothing because he was paying, you know, $800 a month. And at the time, $800 a month when I first opened up, I just took a 100K hit. So I was doing that out of emotions, out of financial obligation. And it was not a great feeling because I was walking on eggshells in my own barbershop building. I didn't even want to tell him to stop coming into the shop smelling like weed because his money was good money, but all money ain't good money, because here's what happened. He kept coming into the shop smelling like weed, and the other barbers, they felt as if that they can do the same exact thing. When I started actually enforcing the rules and the expectations, then these people, they started, you know, fighting against it. What happened was I ended up firing 4 barbers. 4 barbers that was all paying me $1,000 a month. So that's a 4K hit just that month. 4 times 12, that's $48,000 all from that one bad hire. So this is why within your barbershop, you must stop hiring emotionally, and you must start hiring strategically. You must start hiring for character rather than skill set. So next time that you hire somebody, make sure that you're hiring based on their character rather than skill set. You can teach a person how to be a great barber, but you cannot teach a person how to be a good person. And that leads us to point number 5, being the main barber at your shop. So that leads us to point number 5 though, being the main barber at your shop. When I first opened up my barbershop, I was the main fucking barber. The shop would not open without me being there. So if the shop opened up at 9 a.m., I had to be here every single day, Monday through Saturday at 8:30, every single day until closing. Open to close every day, open to close every day. And I did that for the first whole entire year. And I was burnt out. I was making good money, yes. I was cutting a lot of heads, being booked out. You know, I wasn't even cutting any walk-ins. I didn't have the capacity to cut any walk-ins. I straight new clients from social media, and these guys were booking with me. And yes, I was making a lot of money, but I was behind the chair so much, I wasn't actually able to build the business. I was working in the business so much, I wasn't able to actually work on the business. I was working in the business. So that's where a lot of you guys are at right now, where you guys may be making 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10K plus, you know, cutting hair or doing hair. But that is, you know that you can actually scale and grow more if you just focus and lock in on the actual barbershop business and the barbershop as a whole. When I did that and I made that decision that I'm not gonna be the main barber at the shop anymore, I end up hiring a manager. And this manager, he was paying me, you know, $800 a month. But what I did for him was, instead of him paying me booth rent $800 a month, is I actually allowed him to just pay $400 a month. I gave him a 50% off discount for being my manager. His whole thing is just opening and closing and then delegating the task to do so. So now we have a manager at the shop. Now we have a co-manager at the shop, and the shop is open and I don't have to be here for the shop to run properly. That is one of the biggest investments that I made for sure, which is hiring a manager. The manager at your shop and the manager that was at my shop is the person who stuck with me from the beginning. And he showed his loyalty, and he showed that he was bought into, you know, the vision, and he aligned with it, and he knew that this is bigger than just 50% off in booth rent. He knows that I want him to open up a shop with me as well and, you know, be a barbershop owner. So all in all, if you're the main barber in your shop right now, I want you guys to actually take a step back today, right now, and think about what would happen if you stopped being behind the chair all day and you actually started working on the business and started focusing on actually scaling, right? Rather than just making money and making ends meet month after month. When I did that, that's when my barbershop went from just 5K a month to 25K a month. Talking about finances and money, which leads us to point number 6. Overextending yourself for your team. I was in a position where, you know, I had the shop and I ended up firing those. When I fired those 4 barbers, I had 4 out of the 10 chairs at my barbershop open. Every single barber that was coming into the shop for a certain time period who was just looking for a space to cut, I was giving them an opportunity. I was giving them a chance to actually come in and come work. I didn't learn my lesson at the time about hiring, you know, based on character rather than skill set. Even bigger than that, even though they might be be good people too. These good people can be broke people, or these good people can be cheapo people. Cheapo people is the worst people to work with. They want the most, but they want to pay the least. They want you to upgrade the shop, but they want to pay only $100 in booth rent, or not pay booth rent at all. Right? Some of you guys experienced this. So overextending yourself for other people, because what I was doing was I was allowing people to come work into the barbershop without ever even putting no type of commitment down. And then they'll come into the shop and work for a month and then leave and not pay no booth rent, which costed me $800 that month. And then they, we do shop meetings and team events and we go out places. It was one time we had went somewhere and one of the team members that was on the team at the time, I knew that they didn't have it financially. And I looked out for them and I helped them, and I was helping them continuously. They didn't have transportation. They didn't have certain things. So I end up buying them clippers. I end up, Ubering them sometimes, or taking them in my own vehicle there and back to work. And sometimes even giving them discounts on booth rent some weeks. And guess what? All in all, at the end of the day, I had good intentions and a pure heart, but business is business. Because I did that, I allowed slacking, I allowed people to run over and not respect my business, and that costed me thousands of dollars. And just literally just overextending myself. They'll give me $100 or $200 in booth rent, and I'll spend it right back on them. You know what I'm saying? So I know like a lot of you guys right now are in the position of owning the shop, and for you to even own a barbershop, you have to serve others at the highest level, but it's levels to the shit. You don't want to overextend yourself trying to give somebody an opportunity or try to help somebody get somewhere where you see them at. You see the potential. You see that they know how to cut hair good, but they don't have that work ethic and drive. You can't give that to them. So this is something my mom told me, and this is something I live by, is you can take a horse to the lake and the horse can be dying of fucking thirst. But if the horse do not want to drink the water once you get it to that lake, then you can't do shit about it. Because at the end of the day, that horse is gonna do whatever the fuck it wanna do, regardless of whatever, if you're there and if you're not there. So you need to make sure if you're helping out a barber that they're not that horse that's, that you slacking on and you actually wasting energy or finances on, and then at the end of the day, they fuck you off. It's a lot of conviction there because I experienced this shit a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I would honestly say, like, I can't even put a number on how much money it costed, but bigger than money, it costed time, energy, really just headaches, because I was looking out for people who didn't have my back. So if you're tired of that and you're a shop owner, you need to make sure that you need to stop hiring people that are gonna be dependents rather than being independent and actually bringing value to the team. So those were my 6 biggest mistakes that I made within the barbershop business, and all in all totaled out to $470,000 worth of mistakes that I could just count in my head. And that's almost $500,000 worth of mistakes just in one barbershop business, in one barbershop building. And I only been owning this barbershop for the past 3 years. So some of you guys been owning your shops for 15, 20, 30 years. So you guys have probably even had millions of dollars worth of mistakes. But for you guys who haven't opened up a shop yet, or for you guys who want actual change, you must become aware of the problems. Once you become aware of the problems, you must find the solutions to those problems and fix them. And then that's when you can finally scale, grow, and finally touch those 25 to 30K months within your barbershop business. And that's what I want to do for you. So if you're watching this and you plan on opening a barbershop, or you already run a barbershop, then make sure you don't take this with a grain of salt, and you actually make sure you prepare properly. You make sure you hire based on character rather than skill set. And you make sure you be careful about overextending yourself financially, energy, and emotionally. Man, listen up. If you're a barber right now and you're probably going through a hard time, you're maybe struggling with money, the shop is struggling, or you're not just getting the results that you actually want to get, then just stay down, bro. Stay down to the come up. Because the thing is I did the same exact thing. I had to go through that process. But by going through that process, I watched videos like this. This is why I made this video though, to make sure that, I'm giving you guys the game, the resources, and the informations and the insights of the mistakes that I made, so you guys don't make those same exact mistakes. So make sure, do not make the same fucking mistakes I made. Please don't, okay? Now that we're at the end of this video, man, I want you guys to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys found any game, any gems inside of here, and go tap in and go follow me on Instagram at ZachKissHenry. Subscribe as well if I didn't hit that. And then lastly, sign up for that workshop, man. I'm going to be teaching you guys completely for free, showing you guys exactly how to scale up your barbershop business here in 2026 and beyond, man. I see you guys on a workshop class. Let's go.